word oneironaut refers to a person with the ability to travel within a dream on a conscious basis. Part of what I love about podcasting is talking to other oneironauts and dream lovers and lucid dreamers about dreams. Today we talk about everything dream-related, from lucid dreams to sleep paralysis to shared dreams to prophetic dreams. We even touch on why we love lucid dreaming so much and what techniques we use to get lucid. So if you love lucid dreaming and you want to learn more, this one's for you.
My podcast is the Circadian Dream Podcast. I'm just a lucid dream enthusiast right now. And then I also have been lucid dreaming for around 12 years on and off. So my first lucid dream was actually a nightmare. Have you had those repetitive falling off of a building kind of nightmares? That's what started it. I kept falling off or being pushed off of a building. And then one day I just stopped myself in midair. And I was just like, what is happening here? What's happening? It's so real. What is this? And that's when it began.
Yeah, that's cool. A lot of people, I feel like, become lucid off of nightmares because that's like the cure to nightmares, is figuring out that you're dreaming and then you can just change the scene and it's not scary anymore. I
didn't know what it was called then, but I was very interested in it. And then years later, I really got into it. So
I feel like we're all like naturals a little bit. I was having lucid dreams as a kid too. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even appreciate them. I would just be like, oh, I'm dreaming. Let me wake up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until later that I was like, okay, I can actually do something with this.
The shared dreaming. I really want to pull that off one day, but I feel like it requires a massive amount of time and with the person or people that you're trying to do it with, because if you're not have a lucid dream consistently every night, and I think that for me, that's what it seems like it would require. We're all operating on different time zones and different, not that the dream world operates within the same time, but it helps.
It definitely takes consistency because both people have to be trying to have the same goal. But I will tell you, I know a lot of stories of people that have achieved even close to something, which tells us this is something there. This is a shared space that we can access. You know what I'm saying? Even if we all have our own dream bubbles, there's definitely a way that we can overlap. Robert Wagner has a whole chapter in his book on shared dreaming. And he tells stories about, finding things in your dream about other people's lives that you didn't know. I was going to tell you an example that from somebody that I know as well. When they would sleep in the same bed, they would have the same dreams, and maybe he would be lucid and she wouldn't. Or he would remember more details if he was lucid and she just remembered a regular dream, but the same type of narrative. So it happens a lot. I hear with couples and people that sleep together consistently. And I haven't heard of a lucid dreamer couple where both people would try with the same goal, but it just would take practice and consistency, I think. Even from different time zones, I feel like you said it wouldn't really make a difference. It's just the consistency of both people putting their energy into that.
That's what I was saying about. I didn't mean it was impossible to do. I just meant to get us on the same page. Because a lot of the stories that I've read about and I've heard about, exactly the same thing. They're just sleep in the same bed at the same time. And it seems like the proximity brings you closer together in the dream. A friend of mine just did it with her mother recently. Her mother came to visit and they slept in the same bed, and they woke up and the mother started telling my friend about her dream. And then my friend said, what? But then this, and then, they finished the dream together. So I was just like, what? Come on.
To me, tells me that they had some sort of shared dream or mesh dream, even if they're little dream scenarios kind of overlapped a little bit, however that works. But definitely. I think maybe it also has something to do with how close the people are in waking life, how connected you are to them too. Like you said, it was her mom. So maybe that helped.
Yeah. It's also odd. And I guess this is a good segue into the other thing that I'm super interested, which is in I guess this, I don't know if I should say prophetic dreams or dreaming the future.
Yeah, I'd say, prophetic, precognitive, visions, really all the same thing.
Yeah. My mother just had a dream recently where she dreamed that her cousin was throwing a party or she was going somewhere. And she woke up and she called and she said, I had this dream. You were doing this, you were doing that, and you were doing this. And it was to the T. And they don't talk often. So that's the other thing that's just odd to me about the connection that certain people have.
I think it definitely happens a lot more than we think. Like the whole precognitive thing. I feel like we tap into these little moments, even if they're little random moments that you don't realize till later. Like, yo, I had a dream about this.
Yeah.
It tells us something too. Like we're kind of accessing this collective source of information.
Have you had any dreams like that?
Yeah, I've had like some very random precognitive dreams, like, you know, something will happen in my house or something random, like I'll be going out the door a certain way and then like I'll just have a little flashback in that moment of like, I really had the dream about this. And like, it doesn't really make sense. It's not like telling me anything valuable. That I feel like it just kind of makes me feel like, okay, I'm at the right place, at the right time.
Gotcha.
That's how I take it. But okay. I have heard like, you know, close friends and family say like, yo, I had this very specific dream where I had this conversation and then it happened later. So, and statistically, I feel like a lot of people report little things like that, especially now as we're all awakening, it's like happening more and more.
I agree. I wanted to have an entire episode dedicated to this because I know several people that one of my friends, his name is Lou Dynamite. He said he dreamed about like the 9/11 attacks. So I was like, I need to speak with this guy.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
There's
a lot of people dream of deaths and robberies and like big things of stuff like that. And that can be scary because it's like, yo, how do I prepare for this? And I read something like you said about the 9/11. I feel like a lot of people predicted that. And like there was also some other tragic incident somewhere in the world where like some children drowned and like a lot of the children reported like they had dreams of their death like the week of as well.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, historical figures like I think JFK, Carl Young. Family. Yeah, they all had dreams of their deaths.
Yeah.
Dreams. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird because it can be scary. Like you said, the 9/11 premonitions and the death and all that stuff. Like, what do we do with that information if this is bound to happen anyway? It's showing us that something's going to happen. There's nothing we can really do about it. Any dream, like, it's just trying to help us be prepared and understand that our dreams are not just random things. Like, they're really telling us things that we can tap into and we can understand and we can, like, navigate the world better from understanding our dreams, you know? It's definitely trippy, and I think it's happening more and more, and the more in tune you are with your dreams. Because what I've noticed from all the dreamers I talk to, the ones that are like 10 years expert lucid dreamers, really dedicated to their practice, they have very specific premonitions in their dreams, and they can like identify when it's a premonition dream. Like, you know, it feels different. You really get used to understanding like your own dream language.
And then even sometimes it feels like you don't even have to have a dream. You just start to embody the intuition that the dream has given you, and you sort of know things. You feel things as if it was dreamlike. But
that's true. Have you ever had you ever had like premonition dreams or intuition dreams and stuff?
I've had one. I've never had any. I mean, I've had like smaller ones, like you say, like, oh, it feels like deja vu. And it was one stretch of my life where I had deja vu a lot. Like it was like every day for 2 months. But this one dream, I remember I was in junior high school and I dreamed I was in a high school and I met a girl in like the side of the gym by where the bleachers were. And there was like this not secret, but there was like stairs next to the bleachers that you could just go to a little shortcut and go up and in through them. She was like hovering or something on the stairs and her hair was very long and like blonde. And she was like glowing, you know? And I woke up and I was like, what the hell? You know, what was that about? I told a friend of mine about it and I forgot about the dream. That was in junior high school. I get into high school and that's exactly how I met my high school sweetheart. It was like exactly the same way. It was to the T. It was in art and design that's in Manhattan. And it was like to the side up the stairs and she was there. Her hair was out halfway. And it was like she had real long, dirty blonde hair. And then it just snapped. And I was like, holy crap, I dreamed about this. That was the one and only one that was specific.
That's pretty crazy, yeah. That's trippy. I guess you're living out your life path the way that your dream says you should.
Yeah.
Cool. So you get lucid a lot lately, or what's it like for you?
It's an ebb and flow, you know.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know about you, but like since the pandemic, everything has kind of been all over the place. It's up and down. So it's a little bit harder for me to become lucid lately. I'm just adapting to a new lifestyle. I have a different job, so it's a little bit more mentally taxing. But once I get a little bit more into it, like more grounded in the new job, then I'll be able to just go, okay, tonight I want to lucid dream. So I'll just do my like wake back to bed, or I'll do my mild technique, and it'll happen 4 times out of 5.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Once you really find what works for you, it's like okay to like take breaks, like, you know, go up and down, like you said, you know, because sometimes even your non-lucid dreams, they can be really powerful too. You know, it's not all about getting lucid, but once you find out what works for you, and even if that adapts, like for me over the years, I've found that like I switch up my practice and what I do a little bit just as my life adapts, you know?
Yeah, I'll get back into it. It's a little bit just hectic right now.
I feel that. When you do get lucid, like what do? You just have fun, or do you have like goals and stuff? Like what do you do in that space?
I do have goals. I tested out some of Robert Wagner's commands in like the dreams. I'm still trying to concretely have an out-of-body experience that is like different from a lucid dream, because they really seem very close. And I haven't done it to the point where I'm satisfied yet, you know? I'll have the whole vibrations, and I'd like break away from my body and everything feels solid and I remember it, but things are still different in the out-of-body experience. So that's usually what my goal is. Besides that, I'll like look for a dream guide, come pretty close to that. I haven't found one or found the higher self yet, and that kind of thing. I wanted to get into like the dream healing aspect, see if I could like heal maybe an ache or a sore on my body in the lucid dream, because I forget, I was listening to another gentleman's podcast and he had a guest on. She said that she had like a bronchitis or a super like crazy throat issue, and she drank something in the dream because she asked the guy like, I need something to help me with this, and he's like, drink this, and she said it tastes like eggs and some other crap, and she drank it, and then she was like healed in a day or two, you know. And it's something that the doctors were telling her was going to last for a while, or usually last for a while, but she drank it in a dream, and then she was like, I don't want to say that it's specifically that, but that
hey,
really,
I'll tell you, I've heard that a lot too. Your dreams really, they can be powerful. You can really send healing energy to your body. And if you really believe that's what you're doing, like our mind creates our reality anyways. So right. I believe it's possible. Like we're so much more than our physical body. We can get help from these other realms. So
absolutely. You know, when you're hypnotized and then they tell you, you know, heal this kind of thing, or you have some type of neurosis and they hypnotize you and they help you to overcome it. That's essentially what you're doing in your own lucid dream, but it's much more powerful.
Yeah. And you can get creative with it. Like there's no rule book. Like you can conjure up a little healing pool of golden water and swim in it. And like whatever you really believe, like you'll just feel the energy you can like send healing energy to your body through laser rays, whatever. Like you can just create something. Like you said, somebody drank a juice, like whatever the dream is calling you to do, like as long as you're putting that intention towards healing whatever part of your body, like it can be powerful.
Absolutely. The one thing I did learn is that, like you just said, to just go along and flow with the dream. Because sometimes I don't, you know, like I'm looking for a specific answer and the dream is like shoving this in your face. I'm like, no, that's silly.
I know exactly what you're saying. I'm practicing that now because I always feel like I want to get something specific, like you said. And like, I'm trying so hard to like just go against it. And then it kind of ruins the quality and the vividness of my dream because I'm like fighting against it versus when I just take it in and see what the dream has to show me. I'm like, okay, I get it.
It's something that someone said or I read on Instagram. I've just followed so many dream pages that they kind of all meld into one for me. But someone said like the dream speaks in now, you know, so like there's all types of meanings in it. And it reminded me of the movie Arrival. It's just these aliens arrive, they're from the future and they need humankind's help. They get with a linguistic teacher or a linguist. She's supposed to be deciphering their language, but the way that they talk is in now. So do you know the symbol? I think it's Chinese. The circle for now, the Enzo circle, that's how they spoke. They just put circles like Enzos in black ink on a translucent surface. And it reminded me of dreams. And in the circles, there were like little pieces that had hooks and claws that meant something else. And she was piecing them together by those little pieces of the entire circle. And that's how they just spoke in instances. And it would convey the past, present, and the future in one moment.
You know, it's like that one we hear all the time, like the present moment is the only thing that's really exists. The past, the present, the future are just coming towards the present moment for us to experience, you know? So it's like the beings that don't have to speak the way we speak, you know, like the aliens or dream characters or whatever, it's almost like a telepathic like instance of like, you know what it is because it's all out in the open right now, right here in this. I see the connection. The dreams are like in the now. And that's probably why we can see past, present, future, because it's all the same. It's all happening.
Yes. And then just understanding and what we're seeing in the dream. And I know it could get confusing because it's like, you know, purple monkeys flipping off the top of skyscrapers and high five the Statue of Liberty and that kind of crap. But what is this?
Yeah, that's where it gets tricky because people think like, well, maybe not as much now, but people are like, oh, let me Google, what does a monkey dream mean? Or what, you know, and it's like, you have to understand that everyone has their own dream language and you have to understand what each symbol means to you, like what it's trying to tell you, because it might be different for somebody else, you know?
That's true.
So it's interpretation, like you can get help from other people and understanding, like breaking it down, but there's no like one dictionary for like, this means this.
I did come across a gentleman that I spoke to you about in the Instagram thing about the dream tracking. His name is Matt. It helped me to grow in a certain way. And right before I got into the call with him, I started to have the feeling that I am not going to be able to just interpret my dreams all of the time on my own. And when we had our chat, like how we are now, and I explained the dream to him, he did what he called dream tracking, and he added elements to my dream that I didn't even think about. And he said, well, what do you think about this? And we kind of mapped out my dream. It helped me to understand because I said, no, that's not right. You know, even though he threw out some examples of things, it just knocked me into exactly what I was supposed to feel and see. And I said, oh, I get it. I get the dream now, finally. So I think I would like to start something like that. I don't want a lot of people though. And I don't know where I was going, but like, this is where I want to be in. But I want to get it to where it's like a group of people who are very close, who want to help each other interpret their dreams and have just a little community. And you just bounce it off of each other and maybe a set time and things like that. That's one of the things I've been super interested in lately. Anybody,
like you said, interested in understanding their dreams, you need that help from other people who have more dream experiences or other things that you may not have thought of. And like you said, like even if you really will find out what your answer is, but other people will help you reach that point.
And it could be like little circles of 5 or 6 people that could switch intermittently at different times and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like this is going to be a boost for me to really start to do that. And then the collective conscious thing, like you mentioned earlier, I think that still plays a role in all of our dreams. So there are things that are going to pop up in our dreams that we can bounce off of each other that we know that this means the same thing. We grew up in the same era. We look at memes. This is like this kind of metaphor and such and so.
Yes, that's true. I definitely think a lot of things are generational that we can all relate to, and then some things are more personal. So it's good to have the balance.
Oh, one question I wanted to ask you is like, what is your why? You know, like, why are you doing this? Like, why am I lucid dreaming? And I tend to forget how important it is to me and the things that I want to accomplish and prove to myself. And I think it's a great practice to look back and remember why I was doing this in the first place. Because I forget a lot of things and I won't continue because I've forgotten what was the whole point of this in the beginning anyway? Like, what inspired me? What was my impetus? You know what I mean? So I just wanted to know, like, what's your why?
I love this question, you know, because I also sometimes have to remind myself. But why I lucid dream, like, it really makes me feel like when I'm consistently having a practice, you know, not just one lucid dream spontaneously, but when I'm in touch with my practice, which is how I'm trying to be all the time, like I really just feel connected with myself, my inner self, my higher self. I don't know. It's hard to put into words, but I just feel happier. I feel like I have a grip on my life. Like I understand what's going on. I'm prepared. I can practice things, you know, like sometimes I just have fun, but sometimes I really get to work and like try to figure things out and like understand, okay, what do I have to work on in my life, or like, what can I do better? You know, my dreams really help me understand that. Even things I'm not realizing, if I keep a dream journal at the very least, I'll see patterns of like, this is coming up a lot or whatever. So that just helps me understand myself better. And yeah, I just feel like I need that personally. And on another note, in addition to that, I feel like I have like this passion or this calling to like spread the word with people, you know, like you're doing, like the podcast and building a community. I just feel like because I love it so much and I see the value in like dream work, not just lucid dreaming, but just dream work in general. Yeah, I want to spread the word, and I want to like keep doing stuff like this to like get people to like really find their own way with it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. How are we ignoring our dreams so much? Why is everyone just not paying attention to this? It seems to be very important. If we're dreaming the future, if we're dreaming about someone getting hurt and they actually get hurt, we're having these kind of dreams where it's impacting our lives, or people just having all of these nightmares, you know, it's saying something to you, but you're ignoring it. You act like it's not even important at all to your life. You focus a lot on your waking life. So everything that you said, 100%, that's also my why. Everything you said. So thank you.
Live in another dimension part-time. That's just crazy to me. Yeah. It's not for no reason.
That's around 33 years.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I did the math.
You did the math.
I wanted to know.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a gift, you know, dreaming is our birthright. Like, we should take advantage of that. Even at the very least, like, keep a dream journal, whatever works for you. You know, you don't have to be an obsessive lucid dreamer like me, but find what works for you, you know?
We'll be right back.
Are you interested in yoga, meditation, and reading spiritual self-help books? Do you admire spiritual teachers such as Oprah, Gabrielle Bernstein, or Eckhart Tolle? Now let me ask you, do you find yourself contemplating life's biggest, most mysterious questions? Me too, which is why I started the Cultivating Spiritual Curiosity podcast. On this show, I talk with spiritual leaders about everything: yoga, mental health, therapy, intuition, spirit guides, law of attraction, mediumship, and so much more. Click the links below to join our eye-opening conversations.
What is your dream space like? Like, not your dream space, your sleep space. I've invested a lot of money into my bed. I have a Tempur-Pedic 2-inch like memory foam, and it's heaven when I lay down. I don't want to get up in the morning, and it's like, it's hard. And when I lay on it, it just like, you know, you like a marshmallow on it, and it's amazing. And I have like a lavender pouch that's like right at the head of my bed, right next to my bed, and I just breathe it in, and I am out of here.
That's nice. I need to try that. Yeah, I definitely invest in my bed too. I also have a Tempur-Pedic. I make sure I got comfy sheets, like nice pillowcases. I like to sleep really comfy. I take my sleep very serious. I keep crystals under my pillow. It just makes me feel, you know, better vibes. And I sleep in the dark. I like the dark, and I like it. Yeah.
Same. Absolutely. No light. Tiny light, but if I could have it perfect, no light at all. But yeah.
Yeah, and I also have like I try to keep a little night routine, especially when I'm lucid, you know, like I kind of meditate, do a little wild, some affirmations, stuff like that. That's pretty important too. I can sleep anywhere, really.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to sleep sometimes. I have trouble. The wild method used to be my favorite, but now I have kind of trouble with it. But it works for you? Like,
the wild, because I fall asleep really easily. I can never like hold it long enough to wild, but it has worked for me before. But no, it's not like it works all the time. Really, what works the most for me is like the mild, like setting an intention, and wake back to bed is the thing that really gets it for me every time.
Same. I was like 10 for 10 with wild, and I mean, anytime I tried, it was a long time. It was like, that's when I was like at the peak of lucid dreaming. I was wilding like 4 or 5 nights in a row. And the wild dreams, the way that they start, are effing insane. Have you ever read Robert Monroe's book, Journeys Out of Body?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When he talks about the younger generation, like they're calling it phase shifting. which is that's exactly what he said. It was like he would go to the second phase. He called it the second phase. He wasn't too fond of astral projecting, but that's how it was when I used to like wild. I would lay down and then like automatically I'm just being lifted out and taken somewhere. I used to love it.
Yeah, the few times I've experienced it, for me, it's like that too. It just feels like almost like a pulling sensation. And I guess everyone feels it differently, but it's like my soul is just lifting and then I just kind of develop. It's black for me for a while. It's just out of the darkness, like a dream starts to emerge and I kind of start to feel my body, like my dream body. I've never done the thing where you roll out of your body straight onto your bed. I don't know why. For some reason I cannot get it right. I'm going to try though. I'm going to keep trying. You got any tips for that? Because maybe some people that are listening don't understand what that means.
Yes, tips. I mean, so then what I used to do was 8 out of 10 lucid dreams that I had would start with me having to get away from my body. But so I would get up. My ideal time would be like 5:30 a.m. I would get 5 to 6 hours of sleep, maybe. Try to keep it at 5.5. Go to sleep around 12 a.m. Wake up at 5:30. And this is the part that I think that this is the most important part of the wake back to bed for me is the amount of time that I stay up. If I go past 10 or 15 minutes, I'm just up. But the good part about that is like if I'm just up after that, I'll just stay up for an hour or two. And then when I drink, like I could just still do it. But I like to stay up for 10 or 15 minutes. I'll lay down and I'll just like slowly let myself fall asleep while repeating, the mantra. I'll be dreaming soon, or next time I dream, I will realize that I'm dreaming. And a lot of the times I'll wake up in the transition, or not even wake up. It's like I'm aware that I'm starting to go into the dream world. And I just relax. I don't do anything. And I just start to feel that, that zzz, where it's like, oh, it's separation time. And if people, I don't know how to explain the vibrations to people, but it's like your whole body kind of vibrates and shakes, but you're not really shaking. It's an inner feeling. Am I explaining that right?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to explain, but it really feels like it is. It can be scary if you don't know what's going on. But for me, it's like we're literally shooting through dimensions. So we're going to feel something like we're, electrical is definitely a buzzing vibration type of thing.
In Stephen LeBerg's book, Lucid Dreaming, The World of Lucid Dreaming, he talks about it being like your body's senses syncing up kind of thing. And it makes that vibration, but it's, of course, no one knows why that happens. Yeah, when that vibration happens, I learned from Robert Monroe how to do like that rolling technique. It's more imagination, like you just feel your hand just land on the table and you kind of feel the energy inside. It's like that's what you're moving. It's like that phantom limb feeling. And so I just like do like this and I roll. And a weird thing for me is that I think that I'm super connected to my waking self because when I'm able to roll out of my body, if I haven't done it in a while, it hurts, which is a weird thing to me. And it feels like I'm ripping away from myself. And like there's pain in between myself and like my second body or whatever you want to call it. But then when I finally like roll away from it, I just kind of like bounce around the room sometimes because I'm so like light and unused to it. But that's how I do it. When I do the wake back to bed and I'm like falling back to sleep, I'll get lucky enough to just wake up into vibrations. I do that inner rocking feel and feel it out and feel if I could, just roll out of my body. Do I instantly feel like I have a dream body? It's hard for me to tell. It doesn't even feel like I'm dreaming sometimes. And I'm unsure. So I just try it and I feel that there's resistance there, and I could, yes, you know what? Yes, it does feel like I'm in it feels like I'm in my dream body and my regular body simultaneously. And I could feel one is very heavy.
So yeah, that's an interesting visualization because it's like our soul spends time in this vessel that is our body, but this isn't like really our body. We're just borrowing it, So when you separate that and you kind of go into like your free soul body self.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's jarring too for a lot of people because also what's connected to the vibrations is sleep paralysis. And no one likes that except for me. I love sleep.
I like it too. No, I know because I'm used to it now, so it's not scary anymore, and it's an instant dream.
I love sleep paralysis too.
Me too. How did you go from this is scary to like this is cool? Because I know a lot of people probably have this issue, like, oh, I'm scared of this, so I don't want to lucid dream.
For me, it's just like trusting, like I've read the Stephen LaBerge's, the Robert Monroe's, the Robert Wagner's. I would read the techniques. Oh, I even read the Tibetan Dream Yogis ones. I have that one right here too. I just trusted it. I remember, you know what it was also? It was a lot of practice. So I would just take naps during the middle of the day and I would practice it. And when I felt it, I felt myself unable to move. And after a while, it didn't bother me. And then when I, practiced the rolling out technique and I was able to do it, then sleep paralysis, I used to try to, make it happen. So that's when I became like, oh, sleep paralysis. I went in reading about what it was, like your body basically shutting down your muscles so that you don't hurt yourself in your sleep kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we paralyze our bodies every night. We just don't realize it. And then when we realize it, that's what we call sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely, like, when I take naps, it used to happen to me a lot that I just got used to it. It became fun. Like, because once you start to like experiment with your own consciousness, you just get used to all the weird stuff, that comes with it. And it can be scary, but it's just part of it,
Yes. And that's what I try to explain to people, but they're still,
Yeah. And what I've found is like, if you embrace it with love and like acceptance, like this is my dream and I love it and I'm not scared of this, then it kind of goes away. Like whatever little being or anything you're feeling, the scary part of the paralysis, it just kind of fades and then you can just go into your dream or whatever comes next.
Absolutely. And then I would let people know you got to relax because the more you fight against it, the worse it feels. Just breathe through it. Do you know some of the techniques of like stopping sleep paralysis? The holding your breath, blinking your eyes, and those two really, they worked for me. Like when I first started, when I was afraid of it and it happened to me, that helped me to get out of it. But I do have a friend who, he said that those didn't really help him. His sleep paralysis is very intense. So
yeah, I don't know, like I haven't tried that, so I can't say if it would work for me, but my sleep paralysis really feels like nothing is going to unparalyze me ever. So I don't know. I will try it though. But what I was saying is like, I just kind of relax and I do this little meditation where I just feel every point of my body. And then eventually it just kind of fades away and I'm dreaming. I know
what you're talking about. I don't really use that one, but I know what you mean. Each point of your body, you just focus on and relax that area. Right. I want to buy, I'm sorry if I'm just jumping around too.
It's okay. I'm like that too.
I want to buy the Aura ring. Have you seen this thing?
What does it do? I don't think so.
It's like I think it's biometric reader. So
I have seen it. Like one of those sleep tracker things.
Yeah. And it tracks everything. Like it could let you know when you're about to get sick. It senses it through the readings and the ring. And I was just like, what? A lot of people have been having shipping problems with it. They pay for it. They don't get the ring for 4 or 5 months. So I'm just waiting. It, seems like, of course, during the pandemic and everything that's happening, people are not getting their orders. But I really want to get that thing because it seems really cool.
How much does it cost?
Money's not. Listen, this is for our dream.
I know. I'm just curious because I gotta, think about it.
It's like $300.
How expensive?
It's like $300.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like $10,000.
No.
But that's cool. I'm going to try it. I'm going to check it out. I know they're like technology is starting to advance. They got like masks, rings, bracelets, anything that tells you like when you're dreaming, when this, like, it's probably just going to get better and better.
I can't wait for that. But the masks, the dreaming masks, I think they're crap, honestly. I think they're just like a money grab for the most part. It's cool to get people interested, but they don't, like how we are very knowledgeable about like what it takes to lucid dream. They don't really explain that stuff. They're just like, here's the mask and you could do it tonight. Like, oh, okay. Good luck with that.
The today instant lucid dream, like it's just not what it's about. Like it's like going to the gym, you have to build, you have to practice, like you have to build your own practice, and then you work towards it, even if it takes months to get your first lucid dream. It can be frustrating, but it's just part of it.
But it's worth it. once you do it.
Big time.
The only other question that I have, because I didn't get to finish the other thing about your bed, because have you seen the pillow cube advertisements on Instagram? I feel like you would have seen those. Yeah, it's like this, it's a pillow, it's in cubed, and it's supposed to like be perfect for back alignment and that kind of thing. And that stuff just draws me in because I'm just like, really? I can sleep even better? Yeah.
Well, you got to try it out. Let me know if it's good. Then we might have to get some.
I just don't want to spend around $200 for a pillow. And then I'm just like, I could have done without it.
Yeah, true.
The weighted blanket, though?
That, yes. I like those.
Yeah. That is my life.
I saw this heated, warm, like weighted blanket. I was like, I need that. Gotta sleep good, man. Us dreamers take our sleep very serious.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. I'm thinking about a nap right now.
If you're on TikTok, follow me. You won't be disappointed. Amina's Dream World. Also follow the Dream World Podcast on Instagram, and you can find both of us on Clubhouse every week talking about awesome topics where you can actually interact with us. So check that out. You can find it on my website, thedreamworldpodcast.com. Sweet dreams.